live from La Fête, Chicago. Just leaving the Baresh Luncheon, going directly into this. Great time there at Obelix. But we have a fantastic guest today, Michael Seward from the world famous Pop Champagne Bar, also known AKA Champagne Jesus. And longtime wine buyer at Pops. And we're really excited to have you on the pod today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's going to be
Very
fun.
excited to be here.
We always open a bottle of champagne with our guests, but Josh just got this incredible drop of some pretty rare stuff. So Josh, what are we drinking?
This is the O2 Fiacre, so the Chartogne-Taillet, so early Taillet, Terry Theise import. I've not had this wine. I'm excited to share with you guys.
Yeah, should be awesome.
It's been a very long time.
Since you've had it, right? You remember Alec having this wine at Pops?
Yeah, we had this back in the day at Pops before I think the entire shift in the program went over to Alex. This is a fantastic little gem.
I'm excited to see how it's going to drink today. So I mean, really digging into it, like, you have such, depth of wine buying and champagne and working at Pops for such a long time. Remind me again, how long have you been at Pops?
I started in the middle 90s, I think around 1997.
Wow.
And whatever year it is now, I'll get my abacus out.
25.
Figure out how many years that was.
It's crazy to think about that Pops has been around that long as a champagne bar, because you and I, we were all at a party last night and we were chatting for a while, and it's like the evolution of champagne is like those early days. Must have felt like kind of an island out there. I mean, it wasn't like champagne was being championed by a lot of people at that point.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think as some of the other sort of, I don't want to say legendary, but bars that started to open up around the country, I think Flutes and some other places around New York and
Cheers, guys.
Out in the LA area. Cheers, gentlemen.
Yeah.
They were coming in and checking out the spot, and we had been in business for almost 20 years at that point.
That's wild.
And it was kind of crazy. I mean, I think the guy went on a trip. The old owner, Tom Verhey, had gone on a trip, I think, back in his early days to Europe and saw a champagne bar and said, "This is what I want to do."
Yeah.
And he came back, and his dream is coming to fruition.
Yeah.
Even past him. He sold it in 2018, and some new gentlemen own the bar now and have taken it over from him, but his legacy continues.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a legendary bar. I mean, we're here at, of course, at La Fête in Chicago. First year, right? So for Chicago, and so I know we're all going to end up there later. That's definitely going to be the end up. So.
It would be great to see everyone.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. So this is drinking quite well, honestly.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
it's quite tasty.
O2, of course,
It's
is
definitely showing some of those
vintage, right?
secondary aromas from that
Yeah.
one for sure.
The 60-40 and the Chard Pinot on this. Looks like it was just forged in 2010. So yes, I mean, obviously all of those years at Pops, I'm sure there's lots of stories, right? Lots of good ones, right? So what are the gyms? I mean, over the years, the events, the customer interaction, some of the epic bottles, what are the biggest memories that you have from Pops?
Oh, I would say, I mean, the gems are endless. It's been a really storied history for me at Pops. I was very lucky when I started when I was really young to roll into a position of good fortune. A lot of bars you work in, champagne is not your number one selling product. So it's very fortunate to have that. I would say some of the gems over the years, Pops used to be a dedicated jazz club for a very long time. So standing behind the bar, I should say, as a young guy and discovering really classic jazz, especially local Chicago classic jazz, was probably my most core memory of the place. I mean, even before I fell in love with champagne, I was working there. I mean, I enjoyed champagne, but I hadn't necessarily had my aha moment that drove me to say, this is what I want to do with my life. But the jazz was capturing when I was really young. Cool. It was epic, yeah. We've had incredible guests over the years. To start naming them would be very, very difficult, I would say. In my almost 30 years of being there, I wouldn't want to offend anyone, but I probably couldn't recall all of them. They're all, it's been endless, the amount of people, the connections, not just locally in Chicago, not just nationally, but globally. I mean, we have regulars that are all over the world that come in and see us on a yearly, if not, twice, 3 times a year. They fly to Chicago because champagne is one of those things. It's a very niche group of people. And if you, as you know, if you build it, I think I said this last night, they will come.
They will come.
It's when I go on vacation, if I go somewhere, the first thing I do is Google, where can I get champagne in this town? Yeah. What's the best spot to grab a glass or pick up a bottle? Not to mention I'm bringing my own. I have, a carry-on, or not a carry-on anymore, but throw it in the suitcase if I need to. I need to know where my champagne is at, and there are other people like us out there who need that as well.
I think you nailed it yesterday. Was like some of our biggest regulars at Nouvelle too are not necessarily locals. We've got an incredible local group of people that are just like incredible regulars. We have these like stunning regulars that are just like every month or every couple quarters or whatever that travel, like Aaron Harrington yesterday that was at the party. These people that
shows
come
up
through
randomly all the time and opens some
There's a
crazy
shout
bottles.
there.
Right?
But it's like you're saying, it's international people. I think there's quite a unified, really niche group of people that are into champagne, and when you find that core, it's pretty incredible, and they like sharing.
Oh, entirely.
That is pretty fun.
It's a unique mindset, very off base, I think, for most people to understand and grasp it. But when champagne gets its hooks in you, you're in it, and having a bottle alone is always great, but giving away a bottle of wine trumps it any day of the week.
That's so much fun when you open a great bottle and that table next to you, you've never met them, and you're like, you got to try some of this, and start a dialogue and can make fast friends. So
yeah, it's a life of converting people. Please accept my enthusiasm.
Well, that's why they call
you will catch it.
You're
as well.
Champagne Jesus, right? You're converting us to the...
So that's probably leads into a great question. Where did that name originate? When did that stick? How did that come about?
A long time ago, there was a regular at Pops who brought some friends in, and they were looking through our menu, which can, I'm sure, be daunting to people who are not champagne aficionados. She just kind of looked over, they were just doing the flip, reading nothing. And she said, shut the books. What are you doing? This guy is like the Jesus of champagne. Just tell him what you like and he will bring you a glass of champagne, and I promise it will work out. And other people at the bar who I was friends with that were regulars just kind of gave the, what was that? And Champagne Jesus stuff at that moment.
So how long has Champagne Jesus been the thing then? Is it early since Pops or?
Oh, I mean, it's over 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, for sure. And it's something that sort of grew into itself. I mean, I owe the Instagram account to my two nieces.
Yeah, there you go.
Who put me on Instagram before I really even knew what Instagram was. And
I was like, it's certainly not 20 years old on the social medias. They didn't have that stuff back then. But.
No, they have, when they were really little girls, they would come to the bar, and my brother would be in town, he'd bring them over, and they heard the name and they were, would chuckle about it. And then at one holiday event at their house, they took my phone and signed me up for Instagram as Champagne Jesus.
And that's how that came about. Wow.
That is lock solid how it happened.
Yeah.
As ridiculous as that sounds, I probably owe them a little something.
That's awesome.
A bottle of bubbles, to say the least.
So we talk about traveling to drink champagne. Obviously, you can go to Champagne, but in the U.S., where do you like to go if you're as far as what do you like to drink? Where do you end up if you're like, hey, I got to go there because I want to go and drink in the city? Aside from Chicago, where would you go or want to go?
Well, I think there's a small bar in Kentucky.
Oh, really?
That has my name on it in the future. I think with a small pack of people.
This last night, by the way.
This is as of last night.
I think we're gonna have a whole Chicago
Nouvelle,
contingency.
and they find some new regulars.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a person who loves a road trip, so to get in a car and drive down to Louisville would be no problem for me. And
we'd love to have you.
We are recruiting people as well.
I love that.
We're taking people down with us.
I love that.
Well,
you mentioned something about some accommodations on a farm.
We can make that happen.
He's holding it to the fire, baby.
It's locked in.
Our ultimate goal is, there's La Fête, of course, there's La Palie, but we want to do La Farm. We want to bring all the champagne lovers and the champagne producers
and combine it with some of the bourbon guys. I think maybe very, the camaraderie between producers of any product. I mean, these guys are all into this crafting. And I think that there's a mutual respect. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do.
I know some of the distillers, Drew from Willett, they would love it. They're also champagne lovers, things
sure.
like that.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to say, typically people that fly in the air of high-end bourbons also tend to dabble in some really good wine as well. So.
Yeah, for sure. What are the trends you've seen in these so many years now? I mean, again, I was saying we're on an island in the beginning, but I'm sure you've seen changes, from when you started. I mean, the access to growers was probably limited.
It was small. We did a solid job, though, I think, of getting growers in back in the day. It was mostly Grand Mark heavy, the list, but we for sure had smaller people. I mean, to think back, we're in our location for about 20 years now, and I was drinking this cuvée by Chartogne-Taillet back at the old Pops. So
That's wild, because this is such a kind of a rare find now, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this
yeah.
is
The sandy soils of Merfy were gracing Pops for Champagne's lists back in the 90s or early 2000s, I would say. But really, there's been a lot of trends, from people. I don't want to even say this, but discovering that rosé is not white Zinfandel, that Champagne rosé is really fantastic, and holy cow, blowing minds with that. And the mindset of growers bringing knowledge to the back label and knowledge to the game, and sort of like unveiling the recipe, so to speak, and putting dosage on the list. So people are very into the knowledge, I think, and the ideas of knowing what they're drinking. So the concern of getting less sugar as if it would make a difference, in their body is, they're big on that. Extra brut, what's this? How do I get less sugar? And so it's nice to see that. I mean, the grower revolution, though, has been really, I would say,
Wild.
the biggest explosion.
I mean,
in my
but
time.
as you were saying, like, it's crazy because working in a champagne bar for that long, you've probably seen, the evolution. The last 10 years has been crazy. 5 years with the amplification, very different. 10, 15 years ago, obviously,
Entirely.
and just watching that in real time is, and from the the guest and consumer perspective, is a unique vision.
Yeah, it was epic. I mean, I remember maybe let's say 15, 20 years ago, our mission was to try and, I don't want to say put a grower in everyone's hand, but we really were spreading the, so to speak, gospel about it. And now it's, I think, we're not necessarily backtracking, but we're also explaining to people, like, we almost have to asterisk when we speak about growers now and say, hey, the big houses are beautiful too. They make great
Absolutely.
wine. The reason that we can drink Chartogne-Taillet in Chicago right now is because of big houses. That's
100%.
there's a symbiotic relationship between, I think, the smaller producers and the bigger producers, and it's a beautiful thing. It creates a healthy competition. It creates a really fantastic, sort of mindset. The wine spread around the world. Everybody's looking to it. It's beautiful.
I mean, we were talking about that yesterday with Garth, and I mean, the reality is that it's not a us versus them scenario. The houses, the growers, I mean, they live symbiotically and support each other, and it's not. I think a lot of people get this. They get into the world of, but they're at war with each other, and that's not what's going
There's
on.
no vin de France
Yeah,
either.
no.
It's like they're very unified. Like everybody in Champagne is trying to promote Champagne.
Yeah.
Like even at the dinner today is like just the camaraderie between the people that are promoting it. There's not a lot of competition in it. It's more like, hey, let's just make sure people are drinking Champagne.
Yeah, and if anything, I mean, it's raised the bar for everyone. Meaning you'll see large houses today saying, this is our grower.
Yeah.
Or they're featuring their estate fruit as a single vineyard
Louis
wine.
Roeder are doing the collection series, the perpetual blend now.
Perpetual blends.
Or we were just talking about Urn. You have Baresh doing a house style thing. Like it's they're all kind of playing with these different types of styles. You can go full terroir. You can go the assemblance of various spaces to create wines. And I think everyone, no winemaker wants to be stuck in this, like, I have to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah,
That
sure.
gets boring, right? So
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like Jean-Baptiste you had said Louis Roeder, how many hectares do they have that are organically and biodynamically
sure.
farmed? It's a massive amount. This didn't start yesterday. They weren't
Right.
just like, oh, we got to follow,
They started
he was
they
doing
started
this
seeing that, yeah.
years ago. They were starting to convert these vineyards. So it's
sure.
it's an exciting time to be in Champagne. So as we look at Pops, like where that evolution of you've been there for so long, and it's still it's hard to have a restaurant or a bar that like stands that test of time. What do you think was, aside from obviously serving delicious champagne, got you to that point to be still open? I mean, how many bars or restaurants are open 30, 40 years later? Very small amount, right?
not too many. I would think you have a better chance of winning Lotto, probably.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And what do you think that magic sauce was, I guess, for you guys? Or
I would think that we have always been extremely strong with our guest relations. I think we are only as good as our guests are, so to speak. Meaning the good time that they have, whatever we're doing for them, is sort of the reason we're open still. Providing a good atmosphere for champagne lovers to come in, give them some education if they need it, have the right strong wines there if they already have the education, for them to just come in, look at the list, and make a decision. But we're always there for them, and they've been there for us really for 43 years now almost. We are only as good as our guests.
Yeah.
I mean, that symbiotic thing, the hospitality and making sure that you build, beyond regulars, create those relationships for the long term, I would imagine, are a big piece of that.
Yeah. We're empowered as employees there by the owners to, to wear your own personality, and it's not really, we're not forced to follow the manuscript, or, if you greet a table, it's, I want this set. It's a very open forum, but we've been successful with it. We've been very lucky and very fortunate over the years to be able to still be open. I mean, I consider myself one of the luckiest people on the planet that I've had the same job in the restaurant business for as long as I've had it. That's unheard of. And everyone's like, oh, that's, they look at me as if they're congratulating me. And I'm like, it's more like, thank you for allowing me to do this for this long. I remember during COVID saying to the owners, like, hey, whatever you have to do, as long as I have a podium to sell champagne at the end of this, I'm good. Like, meaning if you can't pay me anymore, we'll figure it out. Let's just keep this place open.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
That's awesome. I mean, I remember even if we think about it, kind of grew up in the cocktail scene, in the early 2000s, and the bar community in Chicago always has supported pops. Like even the cocktail guys and all that kind of thing. That's the first time I went. I went there with cocktail bartenders in the early 2000s to pops. You guys were doing. Do you
remember with who? Or?
I'm sorry.
Do you remember who you were with?
Geez, I mean.
He's really got to think back on
that.
This
is almost 20 years ago. But,
that old mind of
was
his.
Probably Freddie and Charles and those guys, right?
Yeah, I mean Charles Durr used to come in all the time.
Yeah, of course, right. And you guys would do events there, obviously, on the cocktail side. And
yeah.
So, but I mean, that was.
How do you do the? You talk about the guest being that, but there's also, I think, give yourself a little credit. I mean, you're the buyer, so how do you create that menu mix? Like when you're buying champagne, it's like we could all say that we could buy every single cuvee of Chartogne and every single cuvee of Cedric Mousset. Well, I mean, we all wish, but there is a limit to a great menu mix, and like how you think about which producers you're buying which cuvées of. Like, is there a strategy that you've taken? And
I think that we try and be well-rounded. That's one of the main things is we try and have a rounded menu. I try and support new producers when they come to town, for sure, and try and make sure that they have a sort of a podium to showcase their wines. I'm in Champagne typically about once a year.
Yeah.
I go in for Printemps, try a lot of new wines, and try and stay on the cutting edge of it. I'm glad people consider the list strong and up to date. It's
how many cuvées do you have, give or take?
I think we're probably in the 100 plus. Yeah. I mean, we have it's constantly flowing.
It's always moving.
Yeah. And as well as I, champagne is limited in the States, and especially in Chicago.
For sure.
More so probably in Louisville.
But yeah, you definitely you take cuvées and things will rotate in and out.
Yeah.
But I think it's always trying to find the balance. It's an interesting game to design a great menu.
Yeah, I think it's very important as a buyer, and I'm sure you could say, to not buy for yourself all the time.
I'm really bad at that.
Yeah, me too. But I mean,
luckily, if you have some regulars that also want to drink that, and do that, right?
There are some people that enjoy what I like, so that is true. But for sure, you need to, like, I often need to reel myself back in and be like, okay, how many high acid, wines do we have on the list? Can we get something with a little roundedness to it?
And inherentness of the champagne category, right? But yeah, for sure. What about the emerging producers right now? Like we just had Garth on, and not
obviously
Garth's book is
his whole book.
His whole book is emerging.
It's
great.
so freaking weird. Like I mean that in the best way. But like it's odd for me to go into like a champagne mindset and then have somebody come on where there's like he's got 12 producers I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
So I mean, who are you?
That's a beautiful thing, though.
That's
what
amazing.
It's about.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We tried some of those wines last night, and they were stunning.
They were stunning. They were really awesome.
Yeah. We've got one featured by the glass, but we're
Which one?
No. You have to come in. I'm not telling you. You
Well,
have to come in and try
we're
it.
in tonight. We're going in tonight. We're coming in with the
That's
the
why I'm
Billy's
not
group.
telling you.
So
okay.
Yeah. So watch out. There's
I
I
don't think you'll be doing anything by the glass.
By the glass, he's probably not.
His eyes after I told him we're coming from Billy's group was like, oh God, we're just.
that is the best group to be with.
It was so much fun last night, actually.
Yeah.
Meeting a lot of the folks that are passionate about wine in Chicago and learning that we're bidding against each other at the same auctions. And
Don't divulge too much of that information.
I was going to say, if you knew each other's handle on the auction side, it's going to be like, you'll be calling him now. Get off of this.
Who are you digging right now? I mean, like, you see a lot of champagne. So are there, give a couple producers that, and they could be old ones that you're revisiting. I mean, like.
Well, let's see. I'll tell you something that I'm chasing because we sort of lost the import was Alex Lamblot's wine. Love him as a producer. His wines were in Chicago for a hot second, and we got a little bit of it, and then it sort of like dissipated. We lost a core importer here in Chicago who was around for many, many years. He sold his business and sort of retired out of it. Robert Hood, he was a sommelier at Trotter's years ago and had his own wine import business and distribution around Chicago. And he did it for a long time, and he created a great book. And that was one I think that was like, man, we were just starting to get him in, and he just slipped right out of our hands. And what's unique about Robert was he was bringing wines that were already imported on the edges, meaning in New York and LA,
like through the Polliner guys and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he was able to grasp some of it for us in Chicago because, as you know, a lot of times what happens is the wines will be spoken for nationally.
Yeah, but it's really just the coast.
It's just staying where they're at. It doesn't behoove them to send money or send wine to Chicago. It costs more money. Or send wine to Louisville. It's an extra truck ride,
That was our biggest thing, today is like, Rafa was like, oh, are we in Kentucky? And I was like, no, we should get you into Kentucky. And he goes,
Good luck.
It's just,
there's only so much
when
wine,
you don't have the
food.
national distribution, I think the small markets really lose out.
Yeah.
And not that Chicago's a small market, but it's still in the middle.
If you're
And
not
so
on the
coastal
port,
is a little easier, and I think that you see the larger groups are easier to grab those.
That's what I think is really interesting and refreshing about what Railsback is doing. He was like really, going to all these crazy small markets and trying to build them.
Yeah, I think what I love about Eric, I mean, not to toot his horn because we're talking with Michael, but I mean, Railsback does love small markets. There's something to build as opposed to a large market that's already. It's kind of easier to sell.
It's a unique approach that he's doing because other folks are not doing that. That's
for sure.
So in regards to, where is Pops going to look like in the next 5 to 10 years? Like where are you trying to take the program? I mean, what, are you going to be doing anything different with the wine program, the food program, the look at the bars? What are the goals that you guys have? That
is a good question. I would say there is a TBD on that as far as we are coming up on the end of a 20-year lease in our current location. So, that's not necessarily my department.
I would imagine that you're in a great location, so that's got to be
It is a great location. The city changes though, as we know, very often. So, whether they stay in that location, whether they do a makeover there, the food menu, whether we move to a new location, how big or small does the kitchen get or remain? Those are really good questions. I wish I honestly had like a blueprint answer for you guys, but I don't. As far as the program goes, I think in the near future, I was talking over with the owners about revamping the menu and sort of like stylizing it in a different way.
The way that it looks.
The way that it looks, the way we're laying it out.
Yeah.
Maybe getting a little more technical, a little more finite with what we're doing. But that really, that's still up in the air. Whether they're willing to do it. And
I mean, your menu's already kind of technical.
You have the maps. I want to get a little deeper. I want to get a little more defined. But that being said, also, I have a very unique luxury at Pops where I don't necessarily do any of the heavy lifting when it comes to menu stuff, meaning I get to try the wine, choose the wine, and somebody else puts the entire menu together. I don't know how to use Photoshop or Word or any of the computer stuff. I've been a bar guy my whole life. So I don't have to sit in front of the computer and redo the entire program to make.
You got the best job. You don't have to deal with that part.
You go, hey, we wanted to be more technical and look this way, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, I mean, all of this, the glory goes to those guys who spend all the time. I mean, it's really easy, as you know, to drink good wine. We're doing it right now. It's like, man, this is fantastic.
This is
Anybody
hard.
could say,
Michael, this is hard.
Right? Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah,
don't let this get out. This is a hard job.
All the heavy lifting. But I mean, to say, this is green lighted. We love this. Let's put it on the menu. Sure. Now somebody's got to go enter this in. We got to do inventory in it. We got, That's all the work, really. I mean, and you know that as a bar owner, that's really the time-consuming part of it. Setting up appointments and having people deliver wine to your door and open the best wine on the planet for you it's very difficult, but it's maybe slightly less difficult.
I'd say that my least
all the
favorite
work.
day in the bar is always inventory day, but one of my happiest days is actually delivery day.
Yeah.
It's
It's like Christmas.
It's before I have. It's exactly right. It's before I have to pay the bill on it, but I get to open
Right.
the boxes and
boxes.
go, "Oh, baby!" And
always fun
I'm a
opening
label
boxes.
junkie too, so I just love looking at labels.
Yeah, and then when you get it on the shelves and you're
Oh, it
just
looks
kinda
so
like,
good. If you never had that feeling in the industry, you should probably leave the
And
industry.
then the guest gets to come and you get to be like, this is what we got today, right?
It's fun, man.
We gotta try this.
We are constantly in a battle to not just sell the new toys.
I know,
It
yeah,
is,
yeah,
it
it's
is one
tough.
of those things. And we're lucky because we have many long-term guests who have their favorites. And a lot of people really, one of the best experiences you can have, I think, as somebody in our position is when somebody comes in and they don't look at a menu and they trust you.
It's amazing.
And you make all the decisions.
fun.
You drive the bus and they look at you at the end and they're like, success again, man.
Yeah,
Thanks a
yeah,
lot.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is getting lost in your own head about that one. It's like, when am I going to choose him this time?
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it's
Well, you got to be able. That's the great thing about being a bartender in the industry is like, you get this kind of sixth sense of like being able to like size somebody up and figure out exactly kind of what's going to be the experience that you get to drive for them, and that's part of the fun of what is so exciting and so addictive.
Yeah.
For what this is, and that's the part that from not working in a restaurant or bar anymore that I miss is that ability to be able to like just like pull those strings and guide their experience and
create that moment.
And a lot of times you often have to do that in a split
Yeah,
second.
you got to be quick.
You have somebody coming in and you've got to size them up and figure out what's the situation in their life that they're here today. Where are we going to take this tonight? What are they going to be in the mood for? And how can we make this a success and get them coming back here?
Yeah.
And it happens like the second you make eye contact with them at the door and they're making their way to the seat, they sit down and then it begins. You have like a finite amount of time to direct them towards a wine like we're drinking right now.
It's crazy that that's so addictive because like once you like get that special sauce to be able to do it, it's like it's so fun.
There's those service. You said that too. There's also while you're doing that, you also have to be fielding everything else that's happening. So those services that work really well, I don't think if you've ever not worked in the restaurant industry, it's like, oh my God, that's an incredible feeling when it's like the pace and the click of it, and then you're hitting the notes.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Everybody's
really is.
happy, everything's
It's a
singing,
jazz
people are
show.
sharing
Like you were
bottles.
taking, it's a jazz show.
It is.
It's the improv going well.
It is a successful parlay. I mean,
Yeah.
it does have a feeling there's a rush to it when you see the fruits of it come to fruition at the end, when you're kind of sitting there and you see how satisfied they are, that they know they made the right decision coming out tonight, that they don't regret spending money, that they're like, this was awesome. We'll be back.
I'll tread lightly here, but your location is quite commercial. It has a lot of tourism around.
Yeah,
But do you ever find some customers that come in with an undue expectation it's difficult when you have guests that are coming in trying to force what they want out of the restaurant onto, the situation. I think that great restaurants have great guests that are like, oh, I know that I'm going into here. I'm going to let the experience of that restaurant come. But then other guests, if you're in like a dense tourist area, can typically be like, hey, come in, I want a margarita. Or like something that is not necessarily within your flow.
Oh, I mean, I often will say to myself in my head, did you not read the name of the bar?
Yes.
When they look at you and you're like, well, our champagne list is here. And they're like, champagne? What are we celebrating? And I'm like, you don't have to have it at all.
Right, but I imagine that you actually get a lot of that. Because
for
of
sure.
the
Well,
location.
just by the nature of being in a big city and being around hotels, and some people it's like, hey, this
It's a
place is
bar.
across the street.
Yeah.
But at the same rate, that's part of the addiction. That's part of the
You gotta-
challenge.
that's
is
part
winning,
of the addiction.
winning
Is
that
when you get
battle.
to pull somebody and like they didn't know they were going to come and have this experience,
Right.
And they leave and they're like, I learned some stuff about champagne.
Yeah, yeah.
I had an amazing champagne, and I really like champagne, and I have a different perspective on this wine.
Yes.
Like that's the fun.
That's the
The
win.
conversion is like, I mean, a regular comes in, you hang out, you have a good time.
That's a given.
fine. But the conversion, that's the thing that's the addicting
Yeah.
part, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It comes down to those things sometimes, I think, was with the Danny Meyer mindset of the figuring out the guest expectation and trying to deliver or exceed that. And there's certain times I find at Nouvelle, we're also in a very dense tourist area on like a Friday or Saturday is like, we can't succeed sometimes in certain guest expectations. Like they come in thinking it's this type of bar and not that type of bar. And it's it's a difficult thing to field if you're so hospitality driven. So I just imagine in the location of Pops is like, there's got to be those moments that are like,
that
oh,
happens.
this is
Yeah,
tough.
I mean, there are insatiable people sometimes, you know, or somebody got out on the wrong, you know, sort of foot, and it's just not. No matter what you do, it's not going to work, you know, and that happens. And I think you have to have really thick skin to work in this business. You have to be able to receive the hate mail and kind of move through it. You know, we are rejected every moment of every day, you know, in what I do. You know, you go up to a table, your goal is to put the right wine in their hands. They might not like wine.
Yeah,
you know,
and
you're
make
just,
people
boom,
happy.
shot down.
I take it home all the time. I mean, bad experiences to me are not just like, oh, that was a difficult guess. It's always like, man, what?
But
Did I do something?
You're right. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, my wife's always like, dude, let it go. It's like, and I was
Isn't
like,
that the
I'll let it
driver,
go in
though?
like 24 hours.
The fact that you care is the important part.
Yeah.
The fact that you are dedicated to running an organization where the hospitality is of such a high priority that you hold that. You know, we tell, you know, our employees often, like, is the reality is that, like, you know, if you're upset about a project or upset about a thing, like that's a, you know, you don't want people to have undue stress, obviously, but like, that's a good thing. That means you care.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like, if you
you
don't
take it
care,
home
there's a
and
problem. Right?
That's why your doors are still open, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh no question. It's just it never gets easier.
Yeah, no. But I mean, the fact that you don't just let it sort of slide off, and you know, you're thinking, you're like, hey, what could I have done? How could we have made this better? How could this be a success? That is a, you know,
That's the
tip of
learning
hat
lesson in those situations is you want to be able to like take those things instead of let it hit you, you know, is to say, okay, well, how do we use that as a learning
A training.
tool, stepping
We do
stone?
that all the time.
Yeah, and I think that, yeah, man, I'm getting sappy over here. I'm missing working behind.
Oh my
a
gosh,
bar,
We
right?
gotta get you back in the ring.
Is there a teardrop coming?
I mean, like, you know, it is addictive, and I think even like having been behind a bar in a while, it's just.
I mean, you know,
Go stage for a weekend. You'll be like, I'm
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure last night Michael and I were hugging and kissing on each other and waxing poetic that we're like two of the luckiest dudes out
Yeah,
there.
cheers,
Because
for
it's
sure.
like what we get to do. I'm like you said, oh, I get to go to Champagne every year, and it's
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know. I get to go into work a lot, and I'm like, it's not like it's always easy, but like I get to do something that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, I really enjoy 98% of the stuff that I do. I wish someone else would do inventory. I guess I could parlay that off.
Well, you know, I think back to like there was a point maybe about 10 years ago where I was like, you know what, I need to like get back behind the bar. And I was doing the cocktail bar thing. I showed the high-end cocktail bar up in the city. I was like, okay, I know this world. I can jump behind the bar. I worked there for like a month and was like working service while I was like, yeah, like this is not a good idea.
No.
Yeah.
This was like
Grinding out a
shit.
couple of gallons of juice.
I will
before
say
you
the other
start your
part. I
shift.
actually have had to start having I used to always accept the deliveries. Like I was saying, it's one of my favorite days. But like we got to go down 3 flights of stairs to get to the cellar, and I'm like, man, I need somebody else to help me. I'm turning 40 now.
Kisses
Like I have
the champagne or not?
I have
Or
the
not?
what do you call it? Like the little movers thing, the belt.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'll come up to and I'll be
It's good
serving
for
a
you.
guest and like one of my Psalms will be like,
Like,
hey dude, your belt's still on.
Yeah.
I got a big sweatband around. I've been moving boxes. It's like, oh man, it does take a physical toll, for sure.
Yeah.
So you know, obviously, you know, working in this organization, that's not again like you don't, you know, a lot of folks kind of phase out of the hospitality industry, and even myself, again, like looking at this and thinking about the romantic side of what I miss, right? You know, you've stuck through it, and like, you know, like I think that in itself is a testament to your passion for this industry, right? So
Yeah, and a special type of crazy as well. I mean, it's like,
that
For
is also true.
sure.
yeah,
Got to get the energy out.
yeah.
I
Special
mean-
type of crazy.
It is it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, I I don't necessarily live the lifestyle anymore, the bartender lifestyle anymore. That's I'm a little old.
Challenging as you get older. Yeah.
This is a good question because you see these Psalms now, and it's like it's like Josh and I talk about it all the time. It's like I try to work out like 6 days a week. If I don't, I'm in trouble. Like, and it's just like a mindset of like, and then I'm always like, go home after your shift.
Yeah.
Like to my guys too, I'm like, don't go out, go home.
Yeah, the business is a little different now. I mean, when I started, a long time ago, it was everyone went out every night.
For sure.
I spent like 15, 20 years going out every night of the week. I'd go on vacation and, see my parents, my mom would be like, you should go out. It's Saturday night. I'd be like, I'm going to bed. It's 8 o'clock. It's beautiful. This is why I came on vacation.
Yeah,
I go out every
exactly.
night.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, I think that I don't want to say the younger generation, but people are a little more, their mindset is tuned a little differently these days, that it's not, you used to get paid cash every night. You'd have cash in pockets full of cash.
It's loose.
You'd go out and,
Walk out, you had to
right.
walk,
You
right?
get home and it's like, well, you start pulling crumpled up bills out of your pocket.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was great. But I think it's a healthier place these days. That people are a little more mindful of what, I hope they're still going out. I mean, I do it every once in a blue moon. And I don't mean go out after work. I don't really do that anymore, but going out.
Yeah.
I go out once in a blue moon and it's nice. But I still hope people are going out a little bit, but not as much as they used to. I mean, guys used to be out all the time. It was bananas.
When I started bartending,
bananas.
It was bananas, dude. It
the
was
cash thing is a
For
factor
sure.
because it's like way easier to spend that cash.
well. You also
Yeah.
just you have no construct of what if it's real.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it's just
like
like
you
this
leave
thing.
and it's
And then you get home the next day and you're like, well, how much did I really make last night? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
you know if it's coming on a check or if
For
you have your
sure.
credit card bill, like, how much did I really spend last night at, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I think one of those things moving forward is just figuring out that dialing the balance and the professionalism. And have you done any of your certifications? Are you a certification kind of guy? I mean, where's your mindset on those?
I'm uncertified.
I love that about you.
I'm uncertified.
That wasn't a
that's the best. You should put that in the bio. I'm uncertified. I love that. Though.
I mean, I am certified insane for being in this business for this long, but I am fully uncertified.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky if I have, I have it, but I was going to say like my Bassett certificate, like my, the things they require you to have in order to serve alcohol or food. I have those for the record. No, I think I tip my hat to people who are like into it because it's a grueling situation, to study and try and get your Master of Wine or your, MS it's really just, it's a lot of work. Yeah, and it requires a special type of person, I think, to get to achieve the real high levels. And whether or not I have that, I don't know. Maybe I should try it. I don't know if that's in my bag though. I mean, I feel like I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but I feel like I'm like a man of the people. Like I've always been like a bartender.
Well, you're Jesus.
But yes. but I mean, just like I think there's some pride in doing what you do and doing it well, and I think I'm just a good bartender. I'm just a.
And you know what? That's like
It's
that's
noble.
admirable.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, think that oh, you're just a bartender. Like no, absolutely. Like I'm a bartender, and I'm proud of it. And I think that's like
We've got
unfortunately-
in America, we've done such a bad job, I think, over the years. And I hope and I think I see it a little bit is like in other countries like France and Italy is like a bartender, a server, a chef. These are very noble professions. That is true. And then in America, it's always like, well, what do you want to do?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, no one asks that question as much anymore.
Yeah. No. Right. You are correct. It
And-
always used to be.
Yeah, always.
What's your real job?
What are you trying to do?
What is your real job
Yeah,
though?
and then
It's like,
I've always hated that, and I've always tried to make at Nouvelle as like coming up through so many positions is like I truly care about my staff to be like, you can be this as long as you want to be this, and we will continue to help you develop in the ways that you want to develop. And I think at the end of the day is like people got to be better at respecting the craft or the journey of somebody else, and specifically in trades.
Well, I mean,
The trade route is like totally a noble profession.
One of the things that we keep talking about in this podcast, and in general, is of course, obviously, since COVID, and this as being, working in a kind of an executive level at a restaurant, and bringing in new talent that are working in the restaurant. It's just been such a glut, obviously, in COVID, and that mentorship seems to have faded a bit, you know, in regards to like that, like you worked here and then you work there. It's a little bit different probably in major cities, but you know, what are your thoughts on that? Like, you know, as far as training, you know, when new folks come into the restaurant, new service staff, new bartenders, like what's your approach to, you know, to give them kind of the pops level of training to get them, you know, to speed?
Yeah, I think that we have a pretty dialed in training situation, but I think what we do really well, and something that we're kind of getting back into, the owners and I were speaking about, we still do it, but is to do to keep the education up, because I feel like the more knowledge you have, the more invested you get. You know, the more time you have to come in and learn and taste, you start to really internalize the sort of product. You know, you make it your own. You develop your own way of putting it in front of people. I mean, I could tell you, you know, what, you know, 60, 40, blah, blah, blah. It's from, you know, Merfy, whatever it is. But if you can't bring that to the guest, you know, that is going to be a problem. And I think the more you're drinking champagne, and the more, I should say, tasting champagne for educational purposes.
That's what we're doing right now.
Correct. But the more you're tasting and the more you're learning, you know, the more you're involved in it, you know, you tend to develop, you create your own sort of way about it. And that's a beautiful thing that we've been given at Pops, is the autonomy to sort of like be yourself. And I think I said to you guys earlier, I may have said it in the podcast already, but we have a license to be ourselves and deliver, you know, the Pops experience in our own fashion. I mean, by all means, we've had people get out of line, and we got to reel them back in,
of course, yeah.
and they are righted, and you know the course is kept. But to stand and micromanage people, you know, hey, this is what we say at every table, we want this, you lose the personality, and Pops would lose its personality. I think a great thing about Pops that's kept it in business for so long is that we do have our own personality, and every guest isn't going to like, you know, myself or my next coworker, but in the group of us, they're going to find one of us that they're going to fall in love
part
with.
of that is like, you're totally on the money. Is like, you know, I've talked about this a lot, you know, and you know, part of the business I do is hospitality consulting, is that if your restaurant or bar does not have a personality, then people don't want to go there. Like, and your person, like if you're just, you know, essentially this, you know, one tone, you know, thing, then you're not an attractive place to hang out at. Like people, like they got to know what, you know, environment, what experience they want to get, and like you've got to cultivate what that is. Now, of course, on the other side, like we talk about training, like you have to like make sure your team knows the list and knows what's on it, and those, and be able and can speak to those things. But I would say the latter is more important. The personality is probably more important than knowing the 60-40 blend on the Chartogne-Taillet, and this is the Terry Theise, you know, import.
Yeah.
Like,
because
cool.
someone else is there. Not to interrupt, but I mean, I'm at Pops all the time. So I think my coworkers know it's very easy to go over and say, hey, can you help me out? I got a technical issue at table, blah, blah, blah. Can you talk them through the wine?
Yeah, there you go.
But in order to get them into the wine, they got to like what they're dealing with right out of the gate. And when they like that, then they're willing, you know, if they have technical issues, and you know, we'll find it out. We'll figure out what's going on.
I think 90% of those getting people bottles of wine, or the sales pitch, if you will, has nothing to do with technicality.
No.
And let's be honest, I mean, I say this all the time. I think I'm a phony half the time. It's like someone's like, what does that bottle taste like? I was like, oh, it should have this nice salinity. Half of the bottles we don't taste until somebody that is credible opens it and lets us taste it. Like in the really expensive stuff. So it's tough to even know.
Yeah, as vintages change, you don't always get
Yeah,
to
like
sample.
how would, I don't know, let's open that up. Or, you know, these things where I think it's just like the guest wants assurances, or wants to be, have something feel confident, and from somebody who's confident.
Yeah.
So if you go,
There is a bit of psychology there as well, though. You know, I've learned over time and working in this industry that like, if you walk up to a table and you're like, you got to try this, it's smoking.
yeah, for
You're gonna blow your socks off.
But that's what I'm talking about.
Like the mental psychology is, even if that bottle variation's off or whatever, something's happened, they're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I think that people still want guidance. And I think that, as we were talking about earlier, like the kind of the lost art of the somm, you know, you're a GM or a wine buyer or a server, you kind of don't have that component, or is like, and you call it what you want, it doesn't be a somm, right? Is that somebody that can come and guide you on the journey. And as we talked about, that's the beauty. It's like having people to be like, bring me whatever, right? You know, and you get the opportunity.
Having license to do that it's a glorious thing.
It's fun.
You better be good at it. You can't just put some unbridled Meunier in front of somebody that is like, all I drink is Bollinger Special Cuvée or something. I don't know. I mean, you just want to make sure you're bringing the right wine to the table.
We do have one beautiful thing though about champagne though, is even if we pick the wrong one, it's still probably fucking delicious.
Yeah.
Like there's other wine areas where it's like you pick the wrong one, the variables are much higher in terms of the style.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting champagne doesn't have a wide variety of style, but I would say overall people that are into bubbles as a whole are very tolerant of different styles of bubbles.
Yeah.
Whereas people that are into Bordeaux or something else are very into a specific flavor profile.
Yeah. I think it's important to say, and something that I use tableside that I'll say to people often is, this is not straight down the center. This is not a direct shot from, Ron's. This is not your grandma's champagne. Like this, we're going to get a little bit out of the box. It's beautiful champagne. Just come to it with an open mind. And then you can sort of move from there. But some people think of champagne and it's like, it's got to be this. I drank Dom Perignon 3 times in my life, and if it doesn't taste like that, it's a big region. There's a lot of flavors. There's a lot of styles. Open your mind up and try new stuff, and you'll be able to find that bottle of Dom anywhere else. Try this wine today, and keep an open mind.
It's funny.
To it.
We were talking to Garth last night, and he brought up an interesting statistic. It was like the average consumer in America drinks 1.5 glasses of champagne a year.
Yeah, a year.
And more than likely, that's probably on a New Year's Eve or a holiday.
Oh
of some
yeah,
sort.
and it's.
So it's like,
That shows you how
kinda
small the
at,
niches is.
This is, we're excited about this, but like.
And that means you and I are like this, like what, like point 0.000001% of people
100%.
for the consumption.
And so I'm sure
too.
you see this every day, and I'm sure you guys do more than me. It's like you have new folks that are starting at zero, and
Man, once you hook them, I've never seen a beverage more powerful, wine or not wine, more than champagne. That the moment they have that champagne, it's game on.
Yeah.
It changes. I've got regulars that, kind of came into Nouvelle, and then when they get into champagne, it's like that becomes the same obsession.
Yeah, it's an
I'm
obsession.
sure you have the same experience.
I'm
right?
deeply obsessed.
Oh,
For many, many years.
wildly obsessed.
Yeah.
I actually, Maggie, I love you, darling. Most of the credits to my wife, who was a bubblehead before I met her. I mean, don't go out drinking with that lady. But, she was the one that was like, hey, you should try this or, whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm into wine. It's like champagne. It's good. And then, she always drank bubbles. And then I don't know what bottle it was. I have no idea when it happened, but probably around COVID. But it was just like, holy
me and
You
John both got in
often
there.
there's an aha moment that you're like, oh, this is what everyone
What
wants.
was your? Do you remember what was your aha bottle or moment or
Oh, man.
time frame?
Well, you're getting into the lightning round questions
I'm already
early.
here, yeah.
You're like treading.
Oh, no, not too fast. No, I would say many, many years ago, I had the guy who hired me on, not the owner of Pops, a manager at the time, who was a very, very good friend. His name was David Kent. He turned me on to a bottle of something. He bought it for my birthday. And sitting at the bar at Pops, drinking a bottle of Taittinger Comte de Champagne.
Really?
It was a rosé.
We almost pulled that.
I know.
today.
That's why I was.
Why didn't you say anything?
Because it was rosé. It wasn't.
Okay,
It wasn't
rosé,
the
which is
Blanc de Blanc. However, it was one of those. I had been working there for a little bit, and I could not wrap my head around like people spending that amount of money on wine and the whole thing. I was like,
it's tough.
this is great. Like, I guess, sure. And at the end of work, we'd have a glass, and I'd be like, yeah, that's great. I'll have a beer. And then, like that. It was.
And nothing wrong with the beer after the champagne day.
No. But
There's nothing better than also a beer after a show sometimes. Right?
Usually a Guinness.
But it was that sort of moment where I think I realized what the sort of
So do you remember the
mentality was.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
I'm sorry.
So do you remember the vintage? The
Oh, it was early 80s. So it was like an 82 or an 86 or something like that.
Wow.
I think it was an 82.
I'm still
drank it in
so
what year?
shocked.
Which was like current when I started, by the way.
I'm just so
82.
shocked that Pops has been around that long. It really is blowing my mind in many ways because, again, just harping on, for all of the listeners, is like to understand what champagne was then to what it is now. And where you guys were in this like thing is like, gotta feel so isolated.
And we were in a small neighborhood back then. It was not in River North. We were in Lakeview. It was like just a dedicated little jazz and wine bar. And
But specifically doing still champagne was like the thing.
Champagne. It was Popster champagne.
That's
We had
just so-
very little still wine.
So wild, man,
Yeah.
because so what year? What year did it?
1982.
I wasn't even born.
Which is-
I
I just
wasn't
think it's
even born.
I was born in 1982.
Yeah.
And the great thing is,
Good
1982
You
is a great
started,
vintage.
wait, you started that? So
In 82?
yeah.
No.
No, late 90s. Late 90s.
No. Like 1997.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying that I was like, wow, you're really old.
Yeah.
No,
Still pretty old for the business.
I'm just messing. But that's just a wild concept for me to think about.
It is. I mean, honestly, when I did not know that until we were hanging out and talking last night, and that kind of blew my mind as well. It's like
So
I mean, I knew it had been
insane.
around for a long time, and I think the first time I said I went was in the early 2000s. But I mean, so I guess here's a big question: is like, what was on the list early days? Like,
Yeah, what was available, you know?
yeah.
It was, I will find a list.
We would
Okay, I would
love
love
that.
I have some old menus.
Can we
Not
post-
from 82.
Can we post it if you send it to us?
Of course,
I would
yeah,
just love.
yeah.
Also, you know what's
I
incredible?
have to
back then?
locate them in my house.
My dad had a bunch of restaurants back in the day, and is like finding old menus and looking at the pricing.
It
too.
was- it's
amazing.
Totally crazy. Like Krug was on the menu for sure, and it was not nearly as expensive.
No.
We had a very strong relationship with Krug, I'd say.
Okay.
We used to sell a lot of it. We had a particular guest. You were asking earlier about stories and people and whatnot. And I'd say our one guest, Rosemary, she's an Irish gal. She lives in Dublin now. But she used to work for, she was part of the Accenture group, I think, like Anderson or Arthur Anderson. Accounting. She was a very powerful businesswoman back in the day, and she would celebrate with her team at Pops all the time. And you would know when you went to work if it was happening that weekend,
Day.
because you would see the cases of Krug would come in and Claude Mini and rosé.
I really want to know.
vintage.
I really want to know Rosemary.
I will. She would be an interesting guest for you guys.
That'd be amazing, actually.
She's a fabulous woman. Yeah. And,
Josh and I were talking yesterday. Was like, I think we need to start having in some of the collector guys.
The collectors are the most eccentric, kind of like knowledgeable, obsessed people. Though, right?
They are madly obsessed.
Oh, I mean, and we were at one of their houses last night. I mean, and love them. I mean, I met them yesterday, and it's just like, again, the generosity
Yeah.
of those guys.
They want to share.
They want to share, right? Shall we lightning round?
We should. As a matter of fact, I'd love to share. That's those boxes over there. We might want to share some of those later. So
That's Josh's giant wine drop for all you people out there.
Yeah, what's available, by the way, for purchase over there?
we're not purchasing anything. We're drinking. What do you want to drink, right? You want to dig through them? We'll do that later. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of kind of where I left off yesterday with the scores.
Yeah,
because
for
I
sure.
think it'd be
I think it's
interesting
the
because some
same.
of these are Chicago questions, and being you lived your whole life here in Chicago.
I've been here for about 30 years. I grew up
30
in
years.
New York.
Oh, you grew up in New York?
Yeah, I've been out here for a long time.
Oh wow! So you came from an even bigger city down to Chicago,
Yes,
right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right, cool. This is the scourge round, so it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be kind of lightning, kind of the first thing that pops in your mind, and we can go for it. So
I function slow, so I'll try and go as quickly as possible.
there you go. Bottle of champagne that made you fall in love with champagne. We just went over this actually.
Yeah, I mean, Taninger Comte Champagne Rosé, probably, I think it was 82, I believe.
82. We got to drink that next time. We got to get that
You
bottle.
find it, baby. I'll drink it.
Yeah.
Favorite region of Champagne?
Ooh. Murray.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
All
a
right.
I'm not going to go
deep
region,
cut.
I'm going to go straight into a village.
Wow,
All right, go straight
that's
to village.
okay. Name a producer,
Wow.
please, from there.
If
you
I
could.
felt like
Fabrice
we'd get more
Pouillon.
of that.
So because there's
Champagne.
clearly some sort of producer.
His So I think, not to like stray from the lightning round, but I think when you work in something like champagne or wine, or if you're a music lover, you have like love affairs with particular music
And then albums.
throughout your life. And I've had many in champagne, and I would say that lately I'm deeply obsessed with Fabrice's wines. I think
I don't know that I've ever had these wines.
Yeah, our Pouillon is still on the label.
Yeah.
Method Fabrice Pouillon.
Yeah. Oh, the Pouillon. Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, I've been drinking them for a very long time, but lately it is so jamming with me. They're so good right now. I think I don't want to say like, he's so on top of his terroir and so on top of his wines. He's in like that groove, it's almost like watching a pitcher, in baseball who's like just throwing.
No, we don't have professional sports.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know. But I mean, just like somebody who's just
Crushing every bottle.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
everything.
I love
so
Michael.
good.
You just crushed that round. Very specific. We love that.
Yeah.
Very well done.
If you only had to drink one vintage in champagne, what would that be? And producer, champagne and producer. If you had to wake up every day and it was Groundhog Day, and you were, you had to drink the same vintage and producer, what would it be?
Oh my God.
That's a 2 point. Can't it just be the vintage?
Let's just go vintage.
Let's go vintage.
88 was
88?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I bought my first case of wine my first case of wine, and it happened to be champagne, was a case of 88. It was a case of 88 Krug. We drank all of them immediately.
Wait,
so
did I see a photo of you? Did you bring a bottle of 88 Krug last year?
I had an 88 Krug at
You
La
had
Fête
88
du Champagne last year in New
Yeah,
York.
I remember that,
Just to have a personal reminiscence of it. Yeah, I was able to find one through a friend. Yeah, I called. My sister she used to live out here, and we drank like 2 bottles in one night. It was crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I mean, if you get the
it's
right
a 3-bottle
provenance.
case, you guys know. And
Which, by the way, one of the bottles I have over there is some like 90s Grand Cuvée. I think we have one of them.
Well, sounds like we should probably open it tonight.
So obviously we're in the hospitality industry, and it goes beyond just wine bars. So best meal of your life.
Oh my God, best meal of my life. Like what I've had, gosh.
You could also say like a restaurant experience, like
You could say I had a hamburger with my girlfriend, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, this would be slow. This would be a slow one.
Take your time.
I would say best meal of my life. Man. Let's go back to that.
Okay,
we'll
fire
come
into
back.
another one.
That's fine,
I'll come
that's
back to
fine,
that.
that's
I gotta process that for a
I'm
second.
asking hard questions here.
Best meal of my life. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it could be one of the top 5, just the one that comes to you.
Yeah.
Don't.
We'll come. Let's circle
Okay.
back.
Let's do the next one. This is arguably also hard, but but it's a fun one because a big point of our conversation today was around hospitality, and I think the art of hospitality is incredibly important.
Yes.
And so the best hospitality experience that you've ever encountered or received.
Shoof.
Oh man, another deep one. I'm gonna go back to the meal.
Oh,
Best meal of my life in college, starving, going to a buddy's house. His mom cooked the biggest meal for us that I've ever had. Fried chicken was the best fried chicken I've ever had in my entire life, bar none. And just everything was like to
just
die
a
for.
home cook. Take
home,
care of you.
I'm big on home cooked meals. I love going out. And I've dined at incredible Michelin star restaurants around the world and been super fortunate and lucky. But I remember that day as being like a meal I'll never forget.
For sure.
Being so hungry as like a college dude.
It's always that. Like, it's always when we ask these questions, which is fun, it's like, it's never like, I was an X3 star. It was like, I was with so-and-so.
Sometimes it is
That's
X3
what you
star.
remember, right?
Yeah.
The personality. Or maybe for him.
And then I would say hospitality-wise, my best hospitality moments always come in Champagne when I go to a small bar called the Glue Pot.
The Glue Pot.
Oh, the Glue Pot.
I've never been. So
I've never been, but I'm aware of the bar.
Well,
Yeah.
I've got to explore Ronce next time.
Yeah.
Because every time it's like we like land in Ronce, we rent the car, and then we go and we are staying kind of closer in Epernay area.
Yeah.
It's like I think next time, as I think the base is going to be.
I watched the Glue Pot's Instagram there, and the bottles and the fun. It looks like a fun space, right?
Yeah. So the owner of the establishment is Stefan Arian, and I would say his hospitality is on top of the game. He is a special.
It's like a dive bar, right? As I understand.
No, it's not a dive bar. It's more like a British pub, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
champagne or like a gastropub.
Yeah.
That has one of the most incredible champagne lists on
It's
the planet.
wild. I've seen the champagne list.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like they basically do cheeseburgers and fish and chips, like you're saying.
Yeah, incredible. They do it very well.
Yeah.
But his hospitality, I would say, is on top of the game.
And you think that place is still executing?
Yeah,
It's been discovered now.
So I think it's still executing. I'm not talking about, when I say hospitality, I'm talking about the way they receive you.
The warmth and
the warmth, the treatment, the professionalism.
For sure.
I
was just making sure. It's like you think that place is still doing what it's always set out to do.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think differently.
I think we should fire up the jet. Let's go.
Yeah. Good. He will not come to us. We've tried to get him to come out here,
really?
and he will not come out. He
He's staying there.
fly.
He doesn't fly.
Yeah, no.
There's a lot of people like that don't fly, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I've discovered some of them now.
I've got a few people. I'm like,
I got some people like family. They're like, I don't fly, but you can convert them sometimes.
But I would say every time I go back and I send people all the time there.
So you go in April every year, is what you're saying, right?
I usually go for Printemps. So
which is where they disgorge and they taste the vin clair, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You taste a lot of stuff.
I gotta
but
go with
I
you.
usually set up a couple of weeks to go over so his
Sounds like
hospitality
we gotta
towards
coordinate,
me.
man. I want to go with you on
Let's
that.
do it.
That'd be a fun one.
I'm in on that.
There's a lot of people.
If all right, so we're gonna keep it rolling.
Sorry.
The lightning round, right?
I'm sorry. I've totally derailed.
This is the parent of the group.
I've derailed this. I'm going out of
I'm the
order.
guy that's getting spreadsheets. I'm like looking at the things. Yes, it's true. But by the way, like I'm very excited about it going into glue pot. So let's figure that out. So if you're not drinking champagne, what are you drinking?
Oof.
Oh man, I'm drinking wine. I'm drinking Burgundy.
This is always
changes.
This is no matter who asks this.
Has anybody ever answered a different question?
No, it's literally always exactly the same. Burgundy.
Yeah,
It's actually got to this point where it's like, this is so ridiculous.
But it makes sense. I mean, if you like champagne,
Because Josh and I say the same thing.
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, if you looked at the bottle lineup from last night, it's like
it's
champagne, Burgundy, the whole thing.
It's always the same. I just love it because it's just like, oh God, we're all just stuck in the same ecosystem.
By the way, it's a good ecosystem.
It's a great ecosystem.
Yes, it's a very fine ecosystem.
Those boxes over there will tell you the same.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
If you had only, what's the next one here? I'm gonna make sure I'm on point. If you can only go to one place and eat and drink, where are you going?
One place.
Yeah, you
And
gotta,
there could
like,
be like a
restaurant.
city or a region or a restaurant.
You gotta be a regular just to like go there every day. Where are you gonna go?
I would say I would want to go somewhere new. Like I would want to go to. I've never been to Italy, so if I could go, I don't know that I would want to go every day, but I mean, I love Italian food, and I think it's going to Italy and as you know, like drinking champagne in the United States is amazing. Drinking champagne in Champagne is like, it's special.
Bonkers.
So yeah, I feel like I'm a fat guy at heart, and I love like.
I can't believe you got to get to Italy, man.
Well, I know.
You got to
I know.
sacrifice a champagne trip.
I can't do that. That's the problem. I cannot. I'm like.
You said a couple
Stuck
weeks
in
you
my ways.
could sacrifice one
I know.
week.
It seems logical, right? You're in Europe. You can
then
just
you're like,
quick
actually,
jaunt
You know,
Over
over.
champagne. I gotta
supposedly,
take
hey,
this
can I
fancy
tell you
shot.
this? Supposedly, I don't know if you knew this, but supposedly the Piedmontese, so Piedmont guys, so all the Barolo producers are obsessed with champagne, and some of the greatest champagne lists are actually
They're in
Piedmont.
Italy. Yeah. Oh my God. They get the best
By the way,
growers.
this podcast.
I think it's a vice versa thing. All of the champagne growers, like even today, Rafa was like, "Oh, if I'm gonna not drink champagne, I'll be drinking Barolo."
Really?
Yeah, he
That's
was
weird.
saying that at our table. He was like, "Oh, Piedmont wine."
The interesting thing about this is we have it's a new podcast, but I can see the analytics. 20% of the viewers are from Piedmont.
Really?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
How did you get that?
Because it tells you in the data.
Wow,
That's incredible.
Hey, Piedmont, we love you. I'm Italian.
All right, we'll keep this going here. My phone's my notes are clicking out here. It's going too long. I'm gonna put the password back in. What winemaking technique or practice, in your opinion, has to go?
Has to go.
What are
Like,
these
you know, like-
things? He comes up with these questions.
Whoa.
You're like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, make it purple. We're out with that. Whatever. Like, what is the thing?
No, Champagne Jesus loves Mega Purple.
Yeah. No, I would say like
Keep that.
That's a
overly
joke,
manipulating your wine is
Yeah.
not a good thing.
obviously.
That's got to go. Like injecting chemicals and things like that. It's not.
I feel like it's so far off though. It's like we're not even in those wheelhouses where people are even tasting those wines anymore. And I don't mean that to sound like elitist or anything, but it's like you get to certain realms, it's like those wines are really relegated now. Like it's pretty transparent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So let's jump to the next one, because this is actually an important question. We're not from Chicago. We're in Chicago for the Fête du Champagne and to spend time at Pops. Where do we go? What restaurant aside from Pops do we have to eat while we're here?
You were there today.
Obelix?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The brothers are doing an incredible job with food. They've been doing it
for a long time.
For a
Bouchon,
very
right?
long time. I mean, Bouchon is one of the best spots in the city. I've been going there for most of my life now. Now that I'm this age, now that I've been in Chicago more years than New York. And Obelix is a fantastic spot. They have other places that they're involved in. But I would say if I was eating a meal in Chicago, it's at Obelix for sure.
Shout out to Obelix. We were just there. A great meal, brunch, luncheon.
Yeah, it was just a cool 12 glasses of wine, maybe 13.
And now we're going into
You
the
should explore their list. It's well done.
I've seen it. It's awesome. It's very well done.
This is just a funny question because this was in here. Like, best place to drink champagne in Chicago.
I have no idea. No, of course it's Pops for Champagne.
It's Pops for Champagne.
A self-endorsed.
I am never tooting my own horn,
also
but
tip the hat.
I will give Pops the nod on that. I mean, the list is strong.
I'm super excited to drain your allocation bottles tonight. So
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
We'll have a pretty badass. Hey,
one more question.
you got one more? You got one more?
Yeah.
Well, we generally end with this one, and that's a weird one. But if obviously you've spent a ton of time in your entire career within Champagne, and if you could share one bottle with any producer, somm, person from hospitality, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh God.
Josh asked these questions that are like, what?
From hospitality.
No, it could be a producer too.
Producer.
Oh, okay.
So, or chef or whatever, man. Or just any person, man. I saw a Robin Williams clip today, and I actually think I'd maybe want to choose Robin Williams.
Yeah, I think mine would be Churchill. I'd like to.
Churchill.
I love that. What a controversial character in so many ways, but
also a lover of champagne.
Champagne.
Huge lover of champagne.
It might be more than one bottle.
Oh, dude! If you haven't seen, I think it's known he got woke up with like a glass of brandy every day.
Sure.
But
I live in a glass house. I'm not going to throw any stones.
Well, we really appreciate it. I know that you took time out of the day, snuck out of the restaurant to come and spend time with us. Everyone, please, when you come to Chicago,
go to Pops.
Go to Pops. Ask for Michael or Champagne Jesus. It goes by both, and have a great glass of full bottle of champagne.
We'll see you tonight.
We'll see you tonight.
Yeah, look
Cheers.
forward to it.
Yeah, cheers.
It was an honor to be here. Thank you very much.
Of course, cheers.
Thank you.